This morning's Breakfast Bible Bytes opens in verse 18 and 20 of Psalm 49 to look at the fool's action when they declare themselves as the object of their own worship. Psalm 49 verses 8 through 19 reads, Though while he lives, he congratulates himself, and though men praise you when you do well for yourself, he shall go to the generations of his fathers. They will never see the light. The chief goal of the rich and powerful is to please themselves, accumulating the good things that life has to offer, blessing themselves. They can often be found praising the success of others since it is a reflection of their own aspirations. Words of worth and of congratulatory eulogy fall on the deaf ears of those who are in their graves. Children of mortal parents do not give birth to immortality. That is the purview of God and his Christ. Salvation belongs to the Lord. The child who follows in the footsteps of his unredeemed parent will inherit the fate of the previous generations of unrepentant fathers. Psalm 49 and verse 20 reads, Man in his pomp, yet without understanding, is like the beast that perishes. I believe that man is different from all other life forms in that we alone are able to contemplate the afterlife. Most life forms have been provided with a sense of self-preservation, and to some are even given the sense of loss. For this reason, I believe that God has given mankind the domestic household dog as an earthly representation of his unconditional love. Stories abound about dogs sacrificing their own lives to save the life of a human companion. In this aspect alone, the companion canine is a reflected image of God's unconditional love. Perhaps you may not have noticed that the title dog, D-O-G, is a reflection of the word God, G-O-D, written such as when viewed in a mirror, you will see the name God. Dog differs from this sense from that of the remainder of the creatures that inhabit the earth. When an animal, with an animal, death is an end all, but not for humans. Our soul remains immortal and will spend an eternity somewhere. Humans are the only created being, apart from perhaps angels, that can contemplate life after death or reflect on who their creator is. This is perhaps another reason to deny the theory of evolution. We hear a great deal today about the theory that man has evolved from some lesser forms. The fact of the matter is that the Bible teaches the proven scientific yet opposed view, opposite view, that it was held by the purveyors of the atheistic view of evolution. God created man in his image, man, that is Adam, and Adam pompously rebelled and became spiritually dead like those of the animal kingdom, and without God's spirit of life indwelling him. We remain only a body and a soul that will live apart from God now and for all eternity. They may even behave like an animal in this life, but a person will not be like the animal when we die, for our soul is eternal, and it will spend an eternity either in heaven or the lake of fire. The natural order of all things is to devolve, not evolve. This is natural with any physical thing in this life. Therefore, everything in my judgment contradicts evolution. Here is something that is glossed over in the science class of schools. It is part of the basic law of science called the second law of thermodynamics, which reveals that in the long run, over time, complex and ordered arrangements actually tend to become simpler and more unsystematic. Ultimately, there is an irreversible devolving and degenerate trend throughout the universe. Evolution, with its postulated doctrine of ever-increasing order and complexity, flies in the face of good science and the natural scientific order of the world. Nothing evolves and becomes more complex. It all gravitates toward the dust from which it was created. Like the law of gravity that pulls things down, there appears to be a moral law of gravity called immorality, which does its best to pull humanity into the pits of moral decay. Practically, factually, and faithfully, the complexity of our human origin and continued existence demands both an intelligent designer and a creator as the author of life. As Christians, don't be fooled by the fools who claim that there is no God. Two passages come to mind. Psalms 14:1. The fool says in his heart, God does not exist. And in 1 Peter 3:15, we read that we should honor the Messiah as Lord in our hearts, always be ready to give a defense to anyone who asks you for the reason for the hope that is within you.